right, I'm here to do a drop-in visit for Amelia and Millie, or excuse me, Millie and Abby. And I am gonna do a quick video too on the Dogtra ARC-X. So she gets really excited when I get here because she knows exactly what's going on. But now, because we've been able to use the e-collar, no, don't do that. Easy girl, she's zooming right now. I'm gonna let them out real quick to the potty. Good grief. Good grief. Oh my goodness. So, this is just raw excitement. She's just pumped that I'm here. I'm gonna let them go potty really quick. Go outside, go potty. I'll let them go potty real quick and then I'll get their e-collars ready. But I wanted to show you guys this Dogtra ARC-X and how it's really good even for dogs that are that excitable, okay? So she's losing her ever-loving mind out there right now, and she's just excited. And the reason that she's excited is she knows we're about to go on an off-leash hike, and she is absolutely floored right now. So this is all of the e-collar technology that this client owns right now, and I am going to put these to the side. This is the other unit. I'm not going to say what brand it is, but very clunky. It's got huge antennas on it. I'm going to just set that to the side for right now so that you can see the very ergonomical, very streamlined Dogtra ARC-X for 2 dogs, okay? So this is the box that it comes in right here. I'm actually going to move this real quick so you can see it. Just like that, ARC-X. This is the 1 dog unit, but I have an extra receiver for it. So I'm going to actually explain it while I'm putting it on her so that she calms down a little bit. Come on, Mama. Hi. All right. So basically, the idea of the e-collar is to establish a cost at a distance for behaviors that I don't want. It's very simple. So I'm actually going to set this up here, and I'm going to show you how I put it on. I'm going to show you the anatomy of the collars as well as the remote, okay? So as far as the remote goes, it's got a nice bright display. This is the power button. We've got a light button, a tone button, the rheostat dial here on the top, the setting for dog 1, 2, and 3. This is actually, oh, that's right, it's a 3-dog system. The boost, the page button, which is the vibrate, and then this is the main electric button right here, and I love that because it's like right here front and center. Just beautiful. And there's a little plastic piece here that I'll just take off for a second. And yeah, so it's got a little belt clip that it comes with that's super durable. It's got USB-C charging on all 3 pieces, which is incredible. And I usually just clip it right here. That's nice because I can just kind of drop my hand down and give a stem if I need to. And this ribbed button right here is really easy to find. So anyway, so power, light, tone, boost, page, stimulation, dogs 1, 2, and 3. Rheostat dial, antenna, charging port, belt clip, and then this beautiful lanyard that I've used for 1,000 different things. I even use it as a leash sometimes. All right, so very, very easy setup. I just turn it on here. There it goes. It's preset to 60 because we're doing some very serious proofing right now, and she's a very high drive dog. So I'm gonna go ahead and unlock this by pressing this top button here, and I'll just drop it down to 0 for a second while I'm playing with it, okay? I can change the stem level on this by going, or the stem type on this from Nick and Constant by holding this button here and then the power button. And you'll see it'll cycle through the different stimulation types as I do that, okay? So again, I hold this down first and then I hold down the power button. Boom, it switches to constant, okay? Me personally, I keep it on constant pretty much all the time, all right? So that's the remote. The receivers are exactly the same. They just have different straps. It's exactly the same piece, okay? So when it comes in the box, it comes with the receiver that has the black strap on it. And all I have to do to turn this on is hold this little button right here. I get a little beep, I get a light, and then I can vibrate it in my hand or tone it just to make sure that it's working, okay? Now, when it's time to actually pair the additional receiver, which Dogtra also sells, I turn my e-collar all the way down to 0. I keep it on constant. I put it on the dog that I want to pair it for, And then with this collar off, I'm gonna just turn this on, and just like a Bluetooth device, I'm just gonna hold it until it blinks rapidly here. There we go. And then I'm gonna hold the boost and the stem button at the same time, just like that. And then I can test it, and there you go. So that means that it is working right now. So I can vibrate it, I can turn on the light, all that stuff, okay? Very simple, all right? The last thing that I wanna show you is how you actually program the boost. So I'll just go back to dog 1 for just a second. If I want to program the boost, all I have to do is turn it to 0, have it on constant on the dog that I'm looking to modify the setting for. And I'm gonna hold down this boost button right here until that blinks rapidly. And then I'm gonna set my interval of how much I want it to go up when I do that boost. So let's just say I do 20. And then I tap the boost button and it blinks 3 times just to lock that in there. And now I have my boost set. So if my e-collar is set on 20 and I tap the boost, it goes 40, 40, 40. So this button would be 20, this button would be 40. Pretty slick, isn't that cool? Now, if I want to lock it again, all I have to do is just hold down this top button right here. There we go, and you see that little lock right there. Pretty sweet. Very easy to use. I absolutely love it. Again, this is the unit that's replacing my absolute favorite unit, the Dogtra ARC that I've used now for close to 8 years. And the reason that I like this one so much is it's got all the extra features, but it's actually a little bit more streamlined, and it's a little bit lower spectrum than the other one. So my baseline on the ARC was about a 16. On this one, it's about a 24. So it accesses a little bit more subtlety in those lower levels, but I still have the aversive stem for blowing me off and trying to run into the road or chasing something that she's not supposed to. And she is a hunting dog, so that is very biological to her. She's gonna do that sometimes, so I need to be able to say, no, that's off the table. Her specific problem is she loves to drink water that she's not supposed to. She loves to drink the water from the chickens. She loves to drink the water from the downspout out of the air conditioner. So those are little proofing opportunities that I have. She also likes to jump on people whenever they come, and she's excited and she's barking like crazy. So I can take that arousal level and just go, no, that's not what we're doing right now, okay? So just to compare, one of the things that I love about this is it's 3 dog. So I can, if they had 3 dogs, I could modify all 3. And when you change the number there, it reads, see on the bottom right down there, it reads 3. So it actually tells me which dog that I'm on. The old one had buttons for all the dogs because it just had 2 dogs, but this one has a toggle switch. So I usually set dog number 1 as the dog that is gonna need it the most, because Abby is very chill, she's very laid back, and Millie is not so much. So anyway, all right, let's get it on really quick and kind of see what this looks like. So I want to show you something really quick just to prove that I don't use this to teach anything, right? This is just for proofing. It's for proofing recall, and it's teaching the contingency or the consequence of the word no. So when I say no, what happens after that, okay? So I'm gonna put this down for just a second so that I can get it on the dog. But before I do, I always test in my hand before I put it on the dog. That's one of the biggest pro tips, all right? Let's talk about where it goes on the dog. Millie, come. Oh, she's peeing. There she is. Millie, come. Yes, good girl. Nice job. So notice we have our communication system. We already have our recall. This is literally just for proofing. Hi, Mama. You're so cool. All right. So where these contacts need to go is either off to the right or off to the left. And she receives this really nicely because she knows that when we get this on, we're gonna get to go out and blast some freedom out, okay? So I'm gonna put this on pretty snug. It needs to be so tight that you should not be able to fit your fingers under the actual contacts, but you might be able to fit a couple fingers under the strap, okay? Now, you notice how long this strap is? You can cut this strap right here where this first little node is on the actual unit itself, if you want to leave it some length there, I usually leave it until that first little node so that you can see it, this little node right here. I'll cut it about right there usually. If you don't want to cut it and you want to use it for a bigger dog, you can put it through both of these silver loops right here, back through that big loop 2 times and make a little bow tie. And that's the same as with the ARC. Nice job. All right. So I don't do really anything other than just kind of pet the dog to tell them, hey, nice job. That was really, really good. That was so good. I love you. All right. You want to come up here? All right, Abby. Come on. Off. Boing. Yay! Happy girl. Hi, happy girl. And the only reason that we're using these is we're about to actually come outside of the fence. Abby, come. Yes, she always gets her head bonked on the thing there. All right, same thing. Hi, Mama. You're so cool. I just think you're so happy. Just knocking stuff over. You guys are cool. You're cool girls. Yeah, that's nice. You're so pretty. And they know, they understand that after the first couple of times that we use these, they understand that, hey, we're going to go out there and you're going to have to just accept the fact that this is going on, and that if you blow me off or delay or get distracted or whatever, you're going to receive a stimulation on here. Now, let's talk about why I don't use this as low-level stim anymore, because I used to do that all the time. I would kind of nag the dog for weeks, even months at a time at low levels to try to not shock the dog, okay? So let's talk just for a brief second about the spectrum of electricity that's involved here. So on the low end, you have, you know, nice, good quality e-collars, and that goes up to about 75% of what's legal to put on a dog, okay? A shock collar starts up here and goes all the way to the top, okay? So that's the first thing, is it's a lower subset of the available electricity that I would put into a collar, but it's also divided up into 100 different levels. So I can, not only is it not super aversive at those low levels, I can use it as pressure if I need to, if I don't want to have to use a command, for example, and I'm trying to be very subtle or stealthy. And I can also give a pop if I need to. So you notice that from here to here, there is an overlap of shock. There is a shock there that is available for the dog, but the reason I don't call it a shock collar is because that's not all it does, right? There's a light, there's a tone, there's low-level stem, there's page, there's whatever. Like, I get it. I understand why people use a shock collar, and there are some times where it can save a dog's life. But I like to have a collar that has the bigger spectrum so that I can use that lower level stem to maintain stealth, okay? Because if you're hunting or stalking or any of that stuff, then you might need that capability, okay? That being said, the e-collar is used to be, it's designed to be able to be faded out. And the reason that people have to keep stimming, I'm not saying putting it on, the reason that people have to keep stimming is because they never go to a corrective level on the e-collar. So they teach the dog how to turn it off, but they never establish a cost for blowing me off. Does that make sense? All right. So we're gonna go on a quick little hike. I know she's amped right now. And I want you to see the communication system that we've built. That I didn't use the e-collar to teach the communication system. I used it to enforce my marker words, okay? So what is the difference between a command and a marker? A marker builds and extincts behavior. So it ties to a payment or to a punishment. It's the coding, the zeros and ones of dog training, all right? Commands are the names that I put, the words that I associate with the behaviors that have been built, okay? Very simple. So building a behavior is nailing in that nail to hang a leash on. A word is the nail itself, right? The command is being able to finally hang something on it, okay? All right, I feel like they're already exhausted right now. So people will say, well, what do you do on the e-collar to get them to walk with you? I don't do anything. What do you do on the e-collar to get them not to go chase things down? I don't do anything. I literally clip it to my pocket and they follow me, and if they do something that I don't want them to do, then there is a cost associated with that, and both of these girls understand that. So again, I have this preset on 1. It's set on a 20 right now, which is arguably pretty low. We've done some proofing over the last couple days, and those levels were 50, 60, sometimes even 100, depending on what it was. She ran out on the side street into someone's driveway the other day, and if there was a car coming by, there would have been a huge cost there. So I got her on 100. Since then, I can't remember the last time that I had to stem or anything. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this with us. I'm gonna loosen this a little bit so I can kind of point it. There we go. And ultimately, they're probably gonna just zoom around a little bit. Now, this is not my property. This belongs to their owners. Hi. Free. Nice. I can go zoom around for a second. This belongs to their owners, so I'm being really careful not to film their property. There's some general stuff that you're gonna see, but I am really big on privacy, and I wanna make sure that this client is satisfied with the fact that I didn't record every little thing in their property, okay? All right. Let's go, girls. Feel like Dixie Chicks or something. Let's go, girls. Or who is it? Shania Twain? Mariah Carey? I don't know. But we are going to have fun. Girls just want to have fun. Yeah, get it, girl. And really, this is just literally a short little walk to let them go potty. This is our second rotation of the day, and this is a drop-in session, which I do offer for all of my training clients. If a dog has already been finished and they're trained already, or if they just need still a little bit of work, or if they just go out of town. I'll stop by the house 4 to 5 times a day, depending on how far it is from my place, and do potty breaks and give them some fulfillment and give them an opportunity to just be free. All right. So again, I just wanted to point out, when I said the word free way back there 100 yards ago, they knew that they could go blast out energy and do whatever they wanted to do. Now, look where the e-collar remote is. Right? It's down here. I'm not constantly stemming them all the time using huge amounts of pressure constantly. It's there just in case. It's like a seatbelt. So the idea is, once you've actually trained the dog, then every time I go out in public or off the leash, I still have the ability to use it, just like I put my seatbelt on in my car every time I get in my car. But if I have to use my seatbelt for what it's meant for every time I get in the car, then I probably shouldn't be driving, okay? Same thing for the e-collar, period, all right? If you're having to stem constantly on the e-collar all the time, you probably need to realize that this is not designed for just only low-level stuff all the time. And that's a mistake that I made a lot early on in my career, using lots and lots of pressure to get dogs into positions and commands. No. Thank you. So that was a conditioned no. She was about to run out into that little gap right there, which goes out into the driveway. And if she does it again, then I will stem. Okay, so you can see that it's a conditioned punisher, the word no. She goes, okay, all right, I know the cost if I violate this. So I'm looking for them to take a nice dump. What are you doing? What are you doing, girl? There we go. Zoom around a little. Hi, Mama. Come here. Millie, come. Yes. Come here, Mama. Do you need to poop? Hey, come here. Thank you. I tapped there, okay? Free. So I'm trying to tell her, hey, if I say come, you gotta come, all right? Now, we could argue all day long about the difference between pressure and punishment, but if I say something and the dog blows me off, there's gonna be a consequence to that, okay? Period. That's literally the only reason that I use the e-collar now, is for improving the proofing mechanisms of my recall and being able to teach a consequence to the word no. And think about this for just a second. If it's true that dogs need to be able to be free and to play, and that biological fulfillment is more important than obedience, which is my belief, then I need to make sure that I have mechanisms in place that I can give my dogs and my client dogs that fulfillment easily and consistently, and be able to hand off that information to the client. Because the training is not done until the client has the muscle memory, the competence, and the confidence to be able to handle that dog in any situation that I do. So I have to say, what is my expectation, right? If a client tells me, well, I'm not super interested in the off-leash stuff. First of all, I understand, okay? There's bad stuff that's happened. There's people's dogs have gotten hit by cars. I get it. I understand that. There's trauma. But we're not victims here. We are victors, and we're going to overcome. And if a client says that to me, then I need to show them what it looks like to actually experience off-leash obedience for themselves. So what I do is I take them to a big open field. I tell them to let their dog off the leash with the long leash, and I let them chase my dog all over the place. So Mila will blast out energy and be insane. And it's super, super reinforcing because they get to actually see the dog having fun for the first time in their life and letting loose. And we might do that for 5 minutes, and I'll set my timer, and that timer goes off, and I go, okay, we're done. I put Mila away, and their dog is just like, they're laying on the ground happy. And then I say, hey buddy, you want to play? And they're like, oh yeah. And we get out the chuck it stick, and I throw the ball, or I get out my tug and we play tug, and nothing can replace that. That's the thing that is crazy to me, is that I'll ask the client, what exactly, who taught this dog this behavior of play and blasting out energy and the zoomies and all this stuff? And they'll go, I don't know. They're like, I didn't teach him that. And I'm like, yeah, who taught him that though? And the answer is no one. It's inside of them, right? They need to be able to do this stuff. Good girl. Abby and Millie are out here just being good girls. So anyway, this is the most that I have ever talked on a walk out in the woods. This is not fun for me. So I'm going to just spend some time alone with them and quiet, and we're going to walk back to the house, and it's going to be a nice peaceful walk. And if I need to establish some sort of consequence or contingency, I have that option. This is a dependable tool that stays charged for a long time, that has a good battery life on it. USB-C charging, which is a brand new feature that Dogtra added with the ARC-X, which I think is ingenious. All the iPhones use it now. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right. So for the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to let you see what it's like to just live in the life of a dog. Millie, come. Abby, no. Abby, no. Thank you, ma'am. Let's go. All right, switching back into work again. All right, that's it, guys. That's as complicated as I'm gonna make this. Dogtra is my favorite e-collar brand for a lot of different reasons. Namely, they kind of just look cooler. I don't really love the e-collar technology's design of their remotes. but they do have some remotes. So she's treed something now, and I want to talk about that for a second. So here's the cool thing about what she's doing. She's caught a scent now, and she stops barking when it's time to be in work or rest, but she still knows that it's okay to bark when the window is open for that. So again, dogs are always naturally in that freedom, play, and rest category. And that's kind of what they oscillate between. But when they're in life with human beings, we kind of added this quadrant of work, where this window of work where we want to kind of modify behavior or get the dog to do something or get the dog to stop doing something. And what's nice about this is she's able to do those things that come biologically appropriate to her, like barking and treeing things and going insane. But I also have the ability to turn that off when that window has closed, right? That's it. That's really the contingency. Also, shout out to Matt, my buddy, who bought me this Trash Panda hat. I absolutely love it, and it goes very well with our theme colors of nature: green, tan, brown, white. What's up, mama? So, again, what I was saying is Dogtra is incredible. I absolutely love the company. They've got a great warranty process. The quality of their products is absolutely stellar. And every single time that I have a client that buys a different tool, whether it's on Amazon or from a different company, they always are dissatisfied with the product long term. I have clients, though, that I started training probably 8 years ago, that they still have the original e-collar. It still works great. They still put it on every time that they go out in public, but they're like, I can't remember the last time that I had to actually press a button. And that should be the goal, is it's a seat belt so that in case life happens, I can say, oh shoot, right? And that's what the e-collar is designed for, is those oh shoot moments where I cannot predict what's going to happen, right? That's the whole point of life, is that you should be going out there and doing things and growing your world and growing your dog's world. And I feel like dog training has gotten to the point where it's about limiting freedom and limiting capability and limiting access and lots of prevention and management, and not doing jack crap with the dog that the dog actually wants to do. And that sucks. It's terrible. I think it's a bad way to have a dog. I think we should start treating dogs like dogs and people like people. And I think we should start growing our world and growing dogs' world, and stop being imprisoned to our house by our dogs because we aren't willing to give them some training. So the last shout out here is for myself. I'm Matt Burnett, with the owner of Allegiant Canine. I'm Matt Burnett, the owner of Allegiant Canine. And I've been training dogs for 8 years full-time professionally in my own business. I've rehabilitated 323 aggressive, reactive, and behavioral dogs with the help of my service dog, Mila, who is an American Pit Bull Terrier, and we're very good at what we do. We have a very simple training program, very simple training process. We operate off of a training credit system that's $150 per training credit that you can use on private lessons. Stay-in trains, where the dog stays inside the home. I pick them up for an hour, take them out in public. I go and do sessions with the dog. We record all of it, upload it to an unlisted YouTube link online so that you can go and watch that video for the life of the dog. I do the exact same thing for a board and train. Each one of those service types is weighted for potency. So a private lesson is the most potent. That means that it has a quality of 10. All right. So if I'm aiming at a 100, it would take 10 private lessons to get a dog completely off leash trained and eliminating some minor behavioral issues. So 10 private lessons, that'll get you there. If I have a dog that is dealing with some behavioral stuff, they're already kind of at a negative 50. So it's probably going to take closer to 15 private lessons to do that. So I'm aiming at a score of 150. All right. I hope that you're tracking. Stay-in trains are pretty valuable. They're a little bit more quality than board-in trains. They're probably about an 8. So it takes a little bit more stay-in train than it does private lesson, but a little bit fewer stay-in train than it does board-in train, because they're a little bit more potent than just doing a board-in train where the dog stays in the kennel, and they're a little bit higher level of stress. They're away from home. With the stay-in train, the dog sleeps in their home. It's $150 a day for the training credits. And then the board and train would usually be 2 or 4 weeks, and it would be 10 training days for 2 weeks. It would be 20 training days for 4 weeks. So, because I only train Monday through Friday in that capacity. And on the weekends, we take a break. I think that's super, super important, and I think rest is very important, okay? So here's the moral of the story. If you're willing to give your dog freedom, play, and work, 5 minutes a day, freedom, play, and work, 50-foot long leash out at the park, 5 minutes of tug after that, and then a 5-minute structured walk back to your house, that's enough. They will be exhausted. And 99% of the time, the rest of the entire day, they can actually rest, okay? That's the point of training, is that so you can enjoy your dog while you have the mental and emotional capacity to actually deal with them. And then when it's not time to do that, that they understand, hey, this is time for rest. So very, very simple program, very effective program, and I think it's a very affordable program. So for, let's say if I have a client that lives 15 minutes away from me and they do 10 private lessons, that's $1,500, and the dog is off-leash trained with very high reliability, and I'm gonna come into the home to proof all of that stuff. I'm gonna go out in public. We're gonna have family members meet them. We can introduce them to other friend dogs. It's beautiful. It's a great program. It's very, very simple. That's also not a lot of money. If you look at any board and train program out there, it's $5,000 minimum, and you don't usually get the results that you want to long term, and you don't always get lifetime support either. And that's the last thing that I'll say, is that anytime a dog finishes a training program with us, they just became part of the family, essentially. So now that opens you up to other services like boarding, like free group classes, like free refreshers. And then anytime a client refers a friend or neighbor or whatever, they also get a free private lesson. So if you have someone that you know who you feel like could benefit from Allegiant Canine and our services, it's just allegiantcanine.com, all spelled out. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, all of that. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. You can also fill out the best way, absolute best way to get in touch with us is fill out a training questionnaire at allegiantcanine.com. Click on the training questionnaire link. It takes 3 to 5 minutes to fill that out, and I will text you pretty much immediately to schedule an initial free consultation, which is going to be 30 minutes on the phone. And then we will come out to your house to we'll set up an initial session inside your home to be able to set up the training plan. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you understand that we're not using these super high level shock collars that are just flattening dogs and shutting them down. I love the fact that this dog, who is bred for this, is able to just go out and be a dog. All right. Good girl. All right. I got to head to my next lesson. So I love you guys. Hope all is well. Go out there. Be free with your dog, play with your dog, work with your dog a little bit each day, and you will see results. All right. Peace.